So, it's time for another of those fun little Lurkit games that I so often do these days. If you don't know what that means, basically I have received the key for this game here, DragonHold, through the service Lurkit, so bear in mind, since I have received the game for free, you should take that into account with any impressions I have on this. Obviously, I do try my best to remain honest with my impressions of things, but, you know, subconsciously, I tint the opinion a little bit, even when I don't intend it to. It happens to anybody. But this is DragonHold, as I just mentioned. What this is an easy point to make would be to compare it to something like the PS2 game Drakengard, if anybody's familiar with that, which most of you probably aren't. So, you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore that. Basically, this is a action RPG where you control your warrior form you see here. You run around slashing, chopping, kicking, fighting, and your dragon riding form here, which becomes an aerial combat segment instead. And as you can see, you can just kind of switch between the two fairly seamlessly, as long as there's room to do so. There are 3 classes of warrior and 3 classes of dragon at your disposal. As you go through the tutorial, you will get to pick one. I have chosen the rogue and the raider, respectively. The rogue for the warrior and the raider for the dragon, both of which being the light and fast option of both. I had originally intended to test each of them before starting stream, and then I realized there is not a convenient reset save option. You actually have to go into the files and delete the save manually, which I realized with not enough time left to do so, and there are no save slots as things currently stand. Whether those will get added later, I don't know. The dev does seem to be pretty receptive to feedback based on things I saw in the Steam discussions, so high credit for that, and high credit for removing microtransactions. That apparently happened back in December of last year. So, worth giving marks for that as well. Now, the other main thing I want to point at, other than fixing one thing I forgot, is there is a solid amount of video options here. As you can see, visual effects and post-processing are both to low and everything is set to medium. It was running fine with everything in medium, but there was a flashing that was happening in combat, so I figured, okay, maybe it's a graphical glitch. So I lowered the post-processing and the visual effects because I figured if there was a visual glitch like that happening, it would likely be tied to those. It still happens, so I don't know if it's intended or not, and that was the other thing I meant to do that I forgot. Was turn my little flashing light warning thing on, just in case. I don't think it'll be egregious enough to be a problem for anybody, but just in case, you know? Never hurts to have it. And as you can see by the fire team buttons over here, it is a fully playable game in co-op. You can host your own server and everything, which is quite nice. Now, in addition to all of the dragon and foot combat that I was just talking about, there is also, what I can gather, a city building aspect, because you are rebuilding the DragonHold after it was destroyed during the tutorial. We are one of, I believe they were referred to as the Boundless, who we in particular have bound a dragon to an amulet we have, and that's why we can actually control this one here. And they seem to be just a group of dragon riders in general. I don't know too much detail because unfortunately I had intended to see all the intro cutscenes again and everything after a save reset, and well, remember what I said about not being able to reset the save. So I'm going to be missing some critical information there. That, well, not really critical information, but potential information there. So we'll be kind of just making that up as we go along and filling in the blanks there. Apologies to the developers for missing that. I had made a bad assumption there. But to add a point from what the description in the store page is, it's quite literally described as a dragon riding extraction action RPG with castle building. So, just adds an extra layer to what I was talking about, because there is an extraction aspect to this that I have not experienced yet because I've not done a proper mission. I only did the tutorial. So that is worth keeping in mind. There is going to be risk involved in your adventures. If you're not up for risk, this might not be up for you. But if what I've said so far sounds interesting, remember to just type in !Lurkit and you'll get the link to the game. Otherwise, wait till the end of the segment and I will pop it up for you as well. Let's get that altar activated and see about getting the DragonHold work done.
Each time you complete a quest, you'll earn an anchor stone. Bring it here to shift a portion of the castle back into a ball. When you do, ancient secrets once lost will reveal themselves again. Some villagers loyal to the balance have prepared for your coming and set up a tent. You can use this as a command center for now. Head over to the workbench near the tent and you'll see plans for a castle town. You can make changes and direct the workers from here.
So you're saying it took multiple villagers to set up that tent? Not gonna lie, maybe that reduces my faith in the villagers slightly, if it takes multiple of them just to erect a tent. But maybe some of them were gathering, like, the plans, and one of them built the tent. And, you know, they split the work. There's also a well, so, you know. People have been putting in some work here. Somebody had to dig that well.
You'll need a forge to craft weapons and equipment. Build one now.
You're speaking my language. That looks like it fits nicely into this little circle spot in the road here. We'll plop it right there.
We've got the forge operational. If we have the right components, we can use it to craft weapons, armor, and any other equipment we may need. Head over to the workstation inside, and you can check out the various designs that we can forge.
There we go.
Inside the tent, you'll find a map of Azarkeen. It's been the hardest hit by Adrodai in the New Dawn. You still command a fierce dragon, and it's the best place to find allies and resources. When you're ready to fight, plot your route on the map. It's in your hands now, Boundless. Restore the balance, save Azarkeen, and save of all.
We'll see how well that works out for us. First and foremost, though, let's check out the forge like we were directed to. Let's see, we can upgrade it so it unlocks more designs. That needs gold and wood. We have enough gold, we just don't have any wood left because we used it all getting set up. Oh, I guess maybe it's in the back here, maybe? No? Ah, this must be the workspace that they were referring to look at the designs. So we've got Sterling Blade, Katana, Fire Staff, Sterling Shield, Leather Armor, Electric Mod, Ice Mod, Channel Stone, Lure Shield, Lantern Weapon, Antidote. Oh no, the weapon is referring to the thing underneath. A little bit of spacing could be done there to make that a little clearer, but it's fine. If you don't start from the bottom, it is much clearer because you can see that the type of item is at the top and then the name of the item's at the bottom. I do appreciate that you can see everything down the line here, but part of me wishes I didn't, just so I don't know everything that I could possibly get out of this, to the point where it's like, well, if I look at this, maybe I decide I don't want any of that, so I end up not bothering with the forge at all. Yeah, we can make magic rings and things like that. Okay, so the lantern is just a lamp, as one would expect. And a lure attracts creatures. I don't know how important any of that is, so I'm not going to worry about making any of that yet. Let's get a feel for what we're dealing with out in the world first. Since y'all didn't get to see it, I'm going to just tell you what the tutorial involved. Hang on. Gotta get rid of this crab first. So I guess enemies can show up here. That's important information. Okay, I may as well talk about combat right quick before we go running off, too. You have a guard button with control. You can roll or back step, depending on what your input is, in order to dodge with Alt. Spacebar jumps. Left and right click are your attacks. Left being light attacks, right being heavy. Shift sprints. That's more or less all you need to worry about at the moment. Later on, you'll have other things you can use. Oh yeah, and there's F, which in my case is a really long dash. I don't know if the other classes have other abilities. I would assume they do. It is neat that there's actually just like wildlife wandering around here. You can see the another crab and some ear-looking things way out in the distance there. What was I gonna say before the crab interrupted me? Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about what happened in the tutorial. You go running through the cave held by the Lifebreaker dragon that we ended up binding. This is where all of our stuff is. Go through the cave, fight goblins and ogres and things of that nature in there. Then you fight the dragon, bind the dragon to your amulet, and then you rush back to DragonHold to try to save the day from the New Dawn, which has a bunch of... They called them god machines. I'm assuming it's ancient technology, a bunch of flying machines and things of that nature. Bust all that up, and then... I'm forgetting the name. But basically you end up getting wiped out at the end by the one leading that charge. And, yeah, that's basically all you need to know about what happened in the tutorial. I was gonna try again in that tutorial fight, because I wanted to see if it was winnable. Because I was in shambles by the time I got to that fight. Because I was being kind of reckless. Yeah, you can see class and everything over here. You can see the 1 to 4 players listing there. Oh, there we go. So you do have options to get other classes, it looks like. Okay. You just have to unlock the other 2. It looks like. Okay, that's reasonable then. And you've also got some unique warriors, it looks like, that you can get. Grug, Canyon, Arman, and Issa. Okay. So they are, of course, still in the same classes. They just have, I guess, a twist on the class, probably. And you can see there are skins as well. I presume originally those were what the microtransactions were. Possibly getting the other warriors as well might have been microtransaction related. Variety of dragons as well. Azat being the Juggernaut, which is the heavy dragon. Kizarven, the striker, which is your magic dragon. And then the one I had chosen, Velas, the raider dragon, being the more rogue-sorted one. Oh, we do have some ability points we might be able to potentially spend. Bunch of reduced mana usage. Don't even have their basic ability equipped. Interesting. Okay, these are castle unlocks. I assume then that'll get addressed as we do content. But there's also Snight, which is a raider class. Zavas, which is a striker class. Aquila, which is a striker. And Phobos, which is a raider. So there's not actually a second Juggernaut. There's only one Juggernaut. And 3 raiders and 3 strikers. Interesting. Nothing in featured content, which is fine. Okay, that's where you pick what your options are and everything, and this is where you could join a co-op hunt, which there are a decent amount of servers for it looks like. Doesn't look like anybody's playing right now, which is fine by me, because I would not be intending to play with others at the moment. Because as y'all know, I'm not really one for playing with random players. Okay, yeah, Blink Slices are forward dash teleport, so yeah, that is a character-specific move then. we'll be picking up invisibility, venom bomb, a grenade, some energy shurikens, the ability to make shadow clones. This one's not telling me what it is for some reason. And then there's a castle unlocked down there. Okay. Looks like the only thing we can buy is the reduced mana usage, so we'll go ahead and spend our points on that, see if that unlocks the other ones once we finish doing this. No. So that's probably level-based then. I just don't know what level we need. That's fine. Making our dash more effective is not a bad idea anyway. But as you can see, we just have a katana, we have no other gear. It is neat that you can rename your weapon. That's fun. No armor, nothing to speak of there. The gold purse allows you to take some of your gold into a hunt. Beware, you will lose your gold if you die. Okay, so you can actually carry money into a mission. I'm assuming then that there's things to spend money on in the missions. So that's interesting. Bring extra weapons. Oh, you can merge weapons with your current one. Yeah, you do have a primary and a secondary weapon. So that's worth keeping in mind. DragonHold ruins are work in progress. They were on the roadmap. And of course, Endless Shores is where we are now. We were told to go to Azarkeen, so let's go to Azarkeen. I didn't see a way to set my lobby accessibility. But it was said that you could play this game purely solo, just fine. And it doesn't have to be online. So that is all worth noting. Taking it a hot minute to load. Ooh. Drag cards from your deck into the correct slot above to alter the scenario. Ooh. So we got a portal. We enter in through a portal along the song lines. The New Dawn are warping in Skyholds to take over Gilan. Thunderstorms are blocking some visibility. An ancient evil awakens and demands tribute. Put the dog down, so Sagahan. And then we leave through the songline gate. We can get a hot drop with our dragon, it looks like. Use the songline gate to get out. We could make it a sunny day, or we can sneak in through a secret passage. Sounds fun to just hot drop in with the dragon. Let's just do that. Because, you know, a portal's nice and all, but just rocketing in like that sounds more fun.
If you only want to collect some resources and escape, get what you need and find your exit path. The quest will keep. You can leave whenever you like.
Well, that's nice. So you don't have to complete the quest to escape. You just need to be able to get to the exit. New Dawn Sanctums are appearing all over Azarkeen. We can't let them get a foothold here. Find a way to bring them down, Boundless. So unlock your dragon by destroying enemies, fly up to destroy the engines, enter the Sanctum and disable its shields to make it vulnerable, and then escape. We were taught how to destroy Sanctums during the tutorial as well. Basically, you have to fight a boss inside the Sanctum after getting on top of it with your dragon. Whee!
New Dawn Sanctum.
This looks like something I might be interested in.
We can't let them get a foothold here.
This is stupid.
Find a way to bring them down, Boundless.
Ah, Ancient Alcove. To enter an alcove, destroy the magic sealed dragon fire, then fly high, transform and dive down, shift while falling, right into the cover stone to break it. Neat. I like that there's all these, like, extra things so far. The rain is hurting the frame rate a bit, but not terribly. Oh, we got incoming. And as I expected, once I'm not in a cave anymore, the flashing doesn't seem to be as bad. Our goal looks to be all the way over there. So, didn't exactly drop in the best location, but that's fine. We can cover ground pretty quickly. And you'll notice our dragon icon in the bottom left is grayed out, but it is filling, so that... what we were told is accurate about just needing to unlock the ability in this mission through copious amounts of violence. Get off of me! Sounds good. Appreciate you popping in. Be out here chopping things up. I heard something, but I don't see something. Oh, there he is. Since I didn't see it at first, I assumed it was behind me. Turns out it was in front of me. Who knew? Yep. Yep. I need to keep in mind for the future, though, that I'm probably going to want to disable storms when I can, since it does impact the frame rate a little bit. Not terribly so, but it does seem like that's where all of the stutter and everything I'm having was coming from. May also just be because this is a much larger map than anything in the tutorial as well. Oh yeah, that's a rough one. Oh, the frames. Oh, the frames are gone. Oh, the frames. Alright, hang on. Let's fix that. Let's make some adjustments on the fly here, which may end in tears. Just bear with me. No, not ultra everything. That is a terrible idea. That is not what I want. Just low everything. There we go. See if that fixes the frame drops. I went for medium in the hopes that it would work out okay, because it was behaving just fine, but clearly I was asking a little too much. And now it seems to have smoothed out perfectly fine. Let me just check on the actual stream itself for a second. Nope, no dropped frames or anything, so we should still be good there. Okay, very good. Needed to make sure. Yeah, switching to low everything has definitely smoothed everything out. It is notable that it is draining one particular CPU core a lot more than the rest. But that's not particularly surprising. A lot of games seem to hit one core much harder than the rest. Nothing too wild about any of the other usages, though, so... Which is surprising, because I did see a fair amount of complaints regarding performance. I have not really had any major issues outside of what just happened there. But again, a little bit of tinkering with your settings sorts out problems like that just fine. Phoenix, okay. Not sure what these are. They almost look like fishmen a little bit at a glance. But what I do know is that they're dead. Oh, the frames again for a second there, but not as badly. There may also just be certain things that are happening that are making the frames angry. It's entirely possible. The map. Oh, no wonder. They're letting you, like, run around, it looks like, the whole area. That might be why the performance gets a little wacky. That would make sense. I've already forgotten where the thing I saw was. There is a fig hut over here, and I would like you guys to learn about what the figs are. So let's fly. As you can see, you can cover much greater distances flying than you can walking. Shocking concept, that. I wonder if I can get struck by lightning while I'm flying. It would honestly be very funny. What's that? What the thought? Found a thingy. Oh, it's another one of the things that you need to crash into. Okay. Yeah, because while riding your dragon, you have dragon fire and you have projectiles you can use. Which is a chargeable projectile, I might add. Okay, it's not taking damage anymore, so I'm assuming I did what I needed to do with that. Now I just need to fly up high and then dive bomb it with my body. Except, you know, it's a little hard to see it from up here. Hopefully, keeping it in visual range will be good enough. Nope, we got flyers inbound, though. Just go ahead and get rid of those before they cause me any issues. Let's see if this is good enough. Oh, it's hard to aim that, though. Ooh. Okay. So I don't want to be directly above, because that has a bit of an angling to it, it looks like. We're learning. Oh, that is hard to get the angling right on. The whole time I'm holding shift, which I need to speed up, it's constantly pushing me up a little bit. Like, instead of just taking me arrow-wise straight towards where I'm going. So there's a little bit of curving that has to happen, sort of. There it is. Alright, now we're in a cave. Fan doors. Lots of them, in fact. There we go, that cleaned the fight up a little bit. As you can see, it's not too bad to just stun basic enemies to death, because, you know, they're just fodder for you to be chopping through. They're not really meant to be much of a threat. And I presume. Prizes. Now, a button I didn't mention because it wasn't relevant till now is you'll notice above my weapon in the bottom right, there is a quick item slot. If you mouse wheel, you can swap which item is selected between the 3 slots there. And if you press G, as you see indicated there, you'll use it. Those healing potions are going to be kind of important to us, because we don't seem to have any other means of healing other than picking up health drops, which can be fairly prevalent based on my experience with the tutorial, but I would not count on that. I don't know which of these doors I came in through, so... turns out it was that one. Or they all just exit, and the entire thing was just that small spot. There's the sanctum. Let's get to it, then. Looks like I gotta break the engine first. Charge my shot up. Do note that the sanctum does have weapons, but they're all on the front, looks like, so it's not too big a deal. There we go, we broke the engine. Let's get in there before they realize what happened. Yep, just the guy in his funny chair again. Nope, you're not clapping me this time. Ah, he clapped me out the door. Oh, and that healed him too, huh? That's a yikes. Yeah, they've got these, like, letter lasers that they fire, and the clapping, as far as I can tell, are their 2 main things that they do. This one's definitely stronger than the last one was. Thankfully, he seems to mostly do that attack forward, not to the sides. Oh, he has a punch. I didn't know he had a punch. And heal up. Oh, he's got that laser too. Okay. Yeah, this guy's a lot stronger than the one I fought in the tutorial. Thankfully, he seems to be slightly stupid. So, you know what? We'll just take... I shouldn't have said anything. The second I made fun of him, I got punished for it. And you know what? That's fair. Fair play. What's that phrase? Oh, right. Talk shit, get hit. I guess I'll actually try now. Thankfully, as you can see, rolling is reasonably effective in this game. It seems like you just want to stay behind him as much as possible. He has a very big blind spot on his back. Aside from the clap might hit behind him. And down goes the Sanctum Lord. We cut him down at the ankles. His weakest place, since he just spends all of his time floating around. And if we just activate the thingy, this will lower the Sanctum's defenses so we can properly destroy it.
Alert. Shielding compromised.
Head outside and attack the vulnerable spot on the front.
Exactly. We did pick up a fragment for a devil staff, apparently. I wasn't sure if that was a weapon or if it was going to be like a weapon part. Turns out it's a weapon part. Now, it is worth noting your health and your dragon's health is shared. So don't think you can just cheat your way out of a bad situation by just switching to dragon form. These lasers are slowly chipping me to death, but it looks like if I sit here, I'm in a blind spot, so I can just chill here. Somewhat, anyway. Oof, I'm invisible. Goodbye. Okay, Sanctum down. Almost costing us our life, but you know what? We did the job. There's just 2 more Sanctums to break down. Let's hit that fig egg hut that I was talking about, though, and you'll understand why that's important. Assuming this is the actual hut itself. Oh, yeah, you know, he's here. Hey, buddy. Why are there all those guys, though?
Figs is preoccupied with a rude house guest. Please excuse Figs.
Want me to get the rude house guest out of here? So when you start the tutorial, you're in rough shape. Like, you are basically dying. Figs there is the first thing you run into, and he helps you out by giving you a healing potion. As well as something else that I forget what it was. It was important. Ooh. And most importantly, though, this is your shop. This is what you would be using money for in a mission. I just wasn't sure if Figs appeared in every mission. That's why I wasn't sure about bringing money out with you. So you can buy magic rings, healing potions, revive runes, which is very important if you're playing alone, as well as a variety of, as you can see, quite expensive weapons. That would be mostly better than what we have. I don't know if we can just use all of these or not. Oh yeah, they all say rogue blades, so yeah. More than likely, the shops will be unique per class then. No armor, obviously. And we can sell things. So if we need to pick up more health potions, we can. We could even sell our sword, but that would be a terrible idea. I don't really need Ignis Salt at the moment, based on what that looks like it's for. I'm just gonna kind of scrounge a little bit for getting some... healing potions. That's what my brain wanted to say. I'm not gonna sell the Zerker Seed because I see it's used in making healing potions, so we obviously want to keep those. Yeah, we can probably let the Volt Stone go. We have multiple of them. Is it 1,500 or was it more than that? We're just shy on being able to buy that, so let's sell a little bit more. For Pearl? That's for attack charms. I like the idea of attack charms. How many of these do I have? I don't see an immediate obvious indicator of what amount I'm carrying of these things. That is one mild problem. I know I had a few Mitra bones when we got to base, so I can probably get away with selling those. There we go. Not quite. Aether Leaf? Sure, Aether Leaf. There we go. That'll be enough to get one more potion. Basically, buy one potion to heal myself now and buy the second potion to heal later. Or at need. Because I think as long as we're above half health, we'll be fine in most situations. I just need to not just face tank a Sanctum Lord again. There we go, that's how I get rid of that. And there are dungeons dotted around the map. I'm kind of interested in seeing what one of those are. Like, we saw one as we were traveling. I saw the gate in the mountainside over this way. Maybe before. So we'll go have a look at one of those. And I think the focus level is like an in-run level you have that makes you stronger for that trip, and then you have your like progress level outside of it. Well, hello, there's also another one of these right here too. Let's see about smashing into this again, and then we will go after the other thing. I don't know how high I actually need to be off the ground to work these things, so I'm going to try to stay a little lower this time to make it easier to actually land in it. Except, you get way more forward push on that than you think you do. At least than I think you do. Plus, maybe I don't need to hold forward. Nope. Nope, 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 that is a problem. Okay. It is very cursor-oriented, which is something I'm having a little bit of trouble with, too. Enemies may have just spawned in. I hear combat music. There they are. Interfering with my looting. I really should hold back earlier on that. That's where that's really going wrong. The cursor also does not move immediately. Like, I slammed down and it just was like, oh, you want me to go down? There's a little bit of scuff, but bear in mind, this is early access. This has not hit 1.0 yet, I do not think. Considering there's still a roadmap with quite a lot of features and such listed on it. Let's just go a bit higher and go a little bit further back, and then we might be able to land this. Ah, we were so close. Okay, nuts to it. I'm not going to spend all of our time toying around with that. Let's go see this dungeon. Because based on what we got out of the last one of those, I'm not that concerned about getting one right now. Parkour. Nope. Parkour better than that, please. Thank you. Up. Nope. Up, up. Up, up. There we go. Okay, we got different enemy types in here, it looks like. Nice to see multiple enemy types in one area. Just ancient things, it looks like. So probably gonna be ancients in the dungeons, perhaps. But it may also be multiple enemies in the dungeons in general. We'll have to see another dungeon to know the truth there. Brain is not destructible. Noted. So I only need to keep an eye out for chests. I don't need to break all the barrels and such to farm money or anything. Worth keeping that in mind. And this door does open. Our enemies awaiting me on the other side of it. Hiya! They were not ready for that. They thought they had to drop on me. They did not expect me to catapult myself at them. There we go. That plant is not harvestable. How is it growing in here to begin with? I suppose something like this gets left long enough, the plants will find a way to, like, grow through the cracks and such. Had that happen with a couple houses I've lived in. Oh, my inventory's full, I guess. So this is an inventory limit down here. Dark Blade Core, Cleaver Core, Potion. Ooh. That is not a big inventory, but if this is meant to be like an extraction style game, a smaller inventory is kind of to be expected. Let's go ahead and drop these. Okay, yeah, right-clicking just drops them. Perfect. Okay, there are backpacks to get as well, so that'll probably expand this inventory that way. We have those back home. So I would want to prioritize these cores. That seems like the thing I want. Obviously, I would need material to make them as well, but the cores, I presume, are unique, so you'd have to get a core to be able to make the thing. So we got a Elba core, which I think we saw the Elba as a weapon we could buy, and a Holy Staff core. I would ordinarily throw these away, but since we know we can unlock the other classes, it'd probably be worth hanging on to that. Did it with, like, the Cleaver, because I'm assuming the Cleaver is probably a knight weapon, not a rogue weapon. It's got a little bit of jank to it, but again, early access, that's to be expected. Ack. That was my face. Just because I'm wearing a mask doesn't mean you can hit me in the face. Boop, boop. Oh yeah, those are things we just threw away before. Of course I get more copies of those now. That's a fair bit of treasure in here, though. Just a bundle of logs? Okay. Oh, did I not stack? Because that definitely looks like an Elba core. Not to be confused with an Elba core. Let's go ahead and use our healing potion to make a space for it. Since we do have space for the health. Oh, no, it was a charger, not an Elba. They just happen to look similar. Okay. Fair enough. I could definitely see there being some confusion because of the similarities between those. Oh yeah, that is another weapon there, too. There's so many weapon cores. How am I ever gonna carry all these out of here? Okay, Holy Staff, you're gonna get set down because I need to know, what is this? Curious about this. Crystal Maul. Okay. Not interested in that. What about this one? This is Dark Star. That looks like another staff. But I'm more interested in a staff called Dark Star than I am in a Holy Staff, I think. Dark Star sounds cooler. Just gonna, like, whip a black hole at somebody. There we go. More Zerker Seeds, very good. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Goodbye. Another one of the crystals. I do like that items are pretty immediately identifiable. That is convenient. Goodbye, floaty man. Whatever that was immediately went in my inventory, I guess. Or it went in the floor. One of the two. Staff. I am gonna sneeze, hang on. That's a lot of wood, 205 wood. And I'm gonna take a moment and appreciate something here. Take note of the fact that things like wood and gold and everything don't go in your inventory. They go in the resource pool immediately. So that's actually really nice, because that means you don't have to pick between bringing major castle and city building resources home or things for upgrading yourself. Your inventory is only for things for upgrading yourself, which is quite nice. I appreciate that immensely. Okay. I saw a Discord ping. I wanted to make sure it wasn't something I needed to immediately attend to. As usual, I am going to get randomly distracted by that, and since I do have a bunch of things going. That looks like a katana of some kind. Let's go ahead and drop Cleaver Core and look at that. Or, oh, it was a Darkblade core. So cores do stack, okay. It looked similar, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be the same after what happened with the other one. Because, you know, you saw how similar the Elba and the Charger are. In fact, let's put them side by side so you can see what I mean. There is some distinction, because, like, the hilt here is more rounded, and the blade here has an indent right above the hilt. But they are very close when you're looking at the tiny icon. This game really is just burying me in loot, though, and I love it. I am looking forward to having more space to carry it. Ooh, that looks like something I want, too. Eventually, anyway. Let's try getting rid of the Cleaver Core again. What is this? Jade Staff. Never mind. I thought it was like some fancy thin crystal blade. That we know we can use, the Guardsman Odachi, because that was one of the things we could buy. So we'll prioritize carrying that out of here. And based on the fact that our inventory is full, I think we're just gonna get out of here before I go in too deep. He says no. I thought I went back in further without meaning to. Enemies, I guess, respawn in here? Or I just missed this guy when we were in here before. One of the two. Considering this has been looted already. Except this. I missed this. What's in the box? Some kind of card? Huh. Okay. Was double checking to make sure the capture hadn't broken when everything freaked out. It's always important to double check those things. Well, these are probably night weapons. Actually, no, because the elbow was on our list. In the shop, wasn't it? Eeny, meeny, miny, that one. Cards for your deck. Oh, so that is world altering cards. Okay, so yeah, I definitely want to bring those with me. Because that gives us different mission parts. And I was right to keep the elbow, because we have a second one now. I don't know how much multiple of them are going to matter. But then again, you can fuse items together, so it might actually be important. For, like, making the best weapon you can make. Because there may also be a level limit on what we can actually use. I haven't looked yet to see. Pick up what we can. Let it just go boop boop at me as much as it wants. Alright. I think we're just gonna mount up and get out of this attempt. So we can drop off what we've gained. It would have been nice to finish our first mission, but Considering how close to death we got already and how full our inventory's gotten, I'm much more interested in just getting out of here. And I kind of want to get rid of the rain. There's Galan. Galan was the place that was under attack. You know, we did a lot of things in the countryside around the place that was being attacked. Didn't help them at all directly, you know, that's fine, right? Okay, yeah, that's the exit right there. Ancient song line. Magic. Songline opens in... Uh-oh. Unless maybe that's just a, hey, one of the players is activating the thing, you might want to get here. Oh, nope, there's enemies. There's a lot of enemies. These are the New Dawn enemies. Specific to the group we're actually fighting instead of just neutrals, essentially. You got Wretches, Executioners, and Enforcers, I believe. Look at all the free stuff they're bringing me. It does seem to be incredibly effective to mix your light and heavies as usual. Sir, I'm looting your friends. Go away. Oh, that's an ogre. No, 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 no. No hugs. And not the touchy kind. You'll notice our health bar is extending as we keep getting more focus levels, though. Honestly, I could see this being a cheeky way to really quickly raise your focus level if the door doesn't close over time. Because, like, the door's open now, for example, but I'm not seeing, like, a warning that it's closing or anything. So we may as well take the ogre out. There he goes. And now we're at the same level as the things we're fighting, because they were all level 10. We actually got through that really well. I was expecting to be in much more danger with the amount of enemies that were piling in. That is really satisfying to do. Oh, we got show dolls as well, but I'm assuming those might have just been locals. It seems like the enemies are just endlessly appearing, though, so we might want to just take our goodies and go. Because we've gotten a lot of prizes here from just standing here and fighting. Oh, wait, maybe they aren't endlessly spawning, because we seem to be running out now. It may be that there was just, like, one big last wave, and I hadn't cleared it yet. So much stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it's getting left behind because I don't have inventory space. That would be one definite benefit to having another player or two along is... Oh, the gate does seem to have closed. I think I have to open it again. So you do only have a finite amount of time to exit. So if you get caught up fighting like I did, you are going to have to open the gate a second time and have to fight all of that again. That's fine. We're just getting stronger and getting more stuff. But that is worth keeping in mind. I wonder if the second round of this is going to be worse, or if it's just going to be the same, even for the most part. Wonder. I'm assuming I can legally be in dragon form for this. And just, you know, do this. I wonder if it'll spawn different enemies with me in dragon form, though I'm staying on the ground, so probably it'll still be ground enemies. As you can see, ground dragon combat is a little scuffed because your turning circle's a little iffy. They don't seem to be wanting to spawn as many enemies now, though. Just kind of hanging out. I think I broke it by going into dragon form. I don't know. Anybody? Enemies. Oh? It's not. That's fine by me. Let's quickly loot what was added. Oh, yep, there they come again. Gotta go! So we defeated 156 enemies, acquired about 8,000 gold, survived for half an hour, got an assassin level, well, a couple probably, and acquired no special loot. That's fine. Back to the hub. We did the thing! Now, do I need to empty my inventory? No, it looks like it all automatically went in here. Very good. It's now just kind of stuttering when it wants, though, which is a little upsetting. Not really sure what's going on there. We can't afford to upgrade the forge now. So while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and do that. Because we saw that there were higher level designs in here. Specifically, things like the Guardsman Odachi, the Charger, or in the Witch Staff, and Artful Leather, which might be nice. There's our small pack as well. Oh, I need more hide. I did not get enough. It does increase your inventory like I'd hoped. Okay. Oh, we also have access to the large pack, but we need Lethic Pelt for that. Okay. Ah, there we go. I can make some armor, though, which might not be a bad idea. Yeah, and Sterling Blade is for knights, of course. Yeah, our level 2 weapon is the Odachi, and the Charger is a knight weapon, as I feared. The Elba is a rogue weapon. Interesting. There is class level requirements, so a lot of what we picked up is not actually going to be helpful to us. Yeah, Darkstar's Sorcerer level 5, for example. Same with the Devil's Staff. Oh, and it needs multiple cores. Like, the higher the weapon level gets, the more cores it takes. That's a little rough, but that makes a degree of sense. Because it would be a little easy if you just walk into your first dungeon and pull out one core and are immediately able to make a weapon. Even if it would be kind of nice. And it starts taking extra stuff when you get real far down. That Crystal Mole, for example, was a level 10 knight weapon I could have walked out with the core for. God damn. I actually can't make the armor. I can make a shield, but that would only be for a knight, so that doesn't help us. And the runes all add elemental damage to our weapons. Ooh. If I had Ash Fangs and Rage Horns, I would actually consider making the Animosity Charm. Raise our attack the lower our health gets. Considering how that first run went, it would be quite tempting. Why does this have a lock on it? Why can't I make that? Oh, I can make it, it just... Why does it have a lock on it if I was able to make it? Bizarre. Some of the UI is a little scuffed. See, I can't make that. Because the forge button will light up if you can make it. And maybe it's just me, but I would figure... Actually, no, that makes sense. How much you have versus how much... I mean, how much you need versus how much you have. It just looks weird on some of those for some reason. Can I upgrade the forge? That's... Why does the upgrade forge button there take you to your equipment? That's weird. There's a little scuff. It's a little scuffed. I wanted to see... Yeah, we're just shy on upgrading the level 3 forge. Though, honestly, rushing forge levels probably isn't going to help us anyway, depending on what our rogue level is. Go to our equip screen here for a second. How do I actually take that potion with me? We'll also take some money with us this time to buy some potions, since it's being a little funny about letting me grab my potion. Strange. We were also attacking in that menu, which is a little odd. Let's see. We can get a beacon, which makes our dragon better. A garrison that gets the other playable characters. Herbalist that gets more potions in the... Oh, I might not have been supposed to be able to make the potion yet, because I might have needed the herbalist to make the healing potion, but it let me do it anyway. Ah, the lair gets us multiple dragons. Lighthouse generates world state cards every so often. Market gets us more stuff. Mausoleum generates quest cards as well. Stables let you tame creatures during an expedition. Supply depot lets you increase the amount of resources we can store. Right now we're capped at 1,500. That would let us have more. And the windmill generates world state cards. Okay. Neat. Neat. Right now, we are too poor on wood to make basically anything. My first idea would have been to make a supply depot, but we don't have the wood for it. So I think we're just going right back out. I'll just have to remember that I'm back down to focus level 1, so I'll need to be kind of careful. At least for a little while. Though the ad is also running for a second, so we will do a little bit of inventorying and such before we go anywhere, that nobody misses too much of the action. Also double check my options. Interesting that you have a whole different options menu here. You know, let's try limiting it to 30 and see if it stays there. I know it won't be as nice, but I'm curious to see if it will have less stutter. Because less stutter would still be better than slower things visually. We'll see how that ends up working out for us. Ah, there we go. That's how I do this. And I had 2 health potions, and the health shot is a little different, I guess. We'll take all of the above, though, and see about actually finishing this trip. Abilities. We do have more ability points. We still don't have access to cloak. Huh. Right. Level 8 gets us another slot. Oh, we do have access to Snite and Phobos, it looks like. Do we actually have anything different? No, it looks like they're just skins. Potentially. Yeah. Oh, it looks like I do have to purchase them. Potentially? I can't really tell. Information unclear. We do have a lot of money. We'll take 4,000 in with me. That should make it easy enough to grab 2 potions when we find the fig. And potentially buy a 3rd, depending on how the run's going. We could also try going somewhere else, but oh no, we can't go anywhere else. They're all grayed out at the moment. So let's pick our cards. See what fate has in store for us this time. I am slightly surprised that they let you change the cards. You would think it would just deal out the cards for you and you would just have to let fate decide what happens. Because you would think it would run the risk of... Oh, but you can have random ones pop up that you don't have. And then you replace them with ones you already do have if you want to. We got clear skies, so that should help cut down some of the stuttering potentially. We got raider ships, so we don't have to worry about the flying sanctuaries this time. We got clear skies, and we have to find the governor of Fort Galan and bring him to his senses, presumably by bludgeoning him. Let's actually use the secret passage instead of flying in this time, though, so we get to see a different entrance. Unlock your dragon by destroying enemies, engage the sorcerer and destroy his shield, stop the raider ships from destroying Galan's dock, and then leave. Alright. Let's do this. Oh, we just appear.
I can sense Zorba's magic here. If we don't act quickly, a fleet of raiders will come pouring into the region through his portals, threatening to lay waste to everything we fought for. Rekindle your amulet, and let's take the fight to him.
Oh, and the raid is coming in a specific time, I see. Oh, you know, if I brought more of my money with me, I could have bought an Odachi, actually. Yeah, because I can't sell my katana for enough. I wasn't anticipating having a shop in front of me immediately. But let's hold on to that money then and see about actually being able to afford a better weapon then. And we can just skip the process of needing to buy one. I think the Odachi is something we can use. There's a bunch of boars and such over here we can hunt. But they are running away from me quite actively, it seems. Get back here. I wish to loot you. I'm slightly faster than you. There we go. You have volunteered as tribute. Welcome to being money. We didn't really get much out of that. 500 experience is more than I expected to get, though. Oh, they're called gobblers, huh? Okay. Well. Oh no. Oh no, I'm getting stun locked. Liz, no. I'm glad the other one didn't aggro. Oh boy. These did, though. Whatever these things are. There we go. Clean house with all of those. Yeah, we at least got focus level 2 out of that, even though I got trounced around a little bit. Did we actually get any money out of that? We did get a little bit. Not quite enough to fund the Odachi plan. I probably need, like, actual enemies for that. I should have put a marker where that fig was as well. Because you'll notice he's not marked. I would have to go to the fig hut. Which, actually, we can do that. That would work. Because what we do is we run in that direction, and by the time we get there, we should have the money we need. So I'm gonna need to act on that raider thing pretty soon. Though it says prepare for the raid, not like stop them before the time runs out. So I suppose I'm doing exactly what I should be doing in some ways. By going and fighting things to get money to be able to make myself stronger. Really depends on what they're expecting me to have for when that raid gets here. Like, ideally, we obviously want to have our dragon riding ability available when we get to that point. Beyond that, I'm not certain. Putting it to 30 seems to have not really changed too much, so we'll try going back to 60. See if we still get the frame drops and the stutter without the rain happening. If it doesn't happen without the rain, then we know what's going on. We know that it's because of the rain. So far, it's behaving itself. Yep, there's a stutter. Shouldn't have said anything, huh? As tempted as I am to go in that dungeon, I feel like we're gonna be in there long enough that that would be a problem for our plan. Hey, Wendy, how's it going? Not much, not much. Just running around the world, trying to get what I need. Which we do have our amulet charged now, so I could just fly across to the big shop. How's our money looking? Not good enough yet. So I'd rather not have to sell anything in order to be able to buy the next weapon. We do have a lot of ground to cover, though. No, I don't have quite full charge. It's very close. Nice. Hopefully work went well. I get the feeling there's gonna be a stretch of nothing on this mountain pass here. But you know what? Sometimes that's a good thing. And I do have 3 health potions right now, so I guess I don't need to worry about buying any. I really just need, like, a enemy to show up. For that'll probably work, though the gobblers were juggling me before. Ah, understandable. But hey, you got through the day, and that's the important part. Now, is my amulet charged? Nope, that was not enough to charge it. How about now? Yeah, there we go. Now we can fly. And away! This way we can get there before the raid on the fort happens. Landing ate the frames a little bit. Ooh. You lot will probably have money. Oh, the frames. What is it about certain spots on the map that make the frames leave for a moment? Or was it just like all these guys activating at once that ate the frames? It could be either, really. That's the second time when we've run up to a larger group of enemies that the frames have left. There's a possibility in either direction, really, for that one. Focus state 4, very good. Get us stronger. We need every level we can get. We don't know what we're getting into with the boat raid that's coming. That is basically all the money I need. Okay, you've decided to give me more money. This is fine. Maybe it's just this spot that's eating frames, because the enemies are gone and the frames are still freaking out a little bit. There's really not much more optimizing I can do. doesn't seem like there's a memory leak or anything, because I'm not seeing anything changing on the resources. But this does start to make the complaints about optimization that I was seeing make more sense. But, you know, that's how early access is. A reward for taking care of business here. I will do actual business in a second once I've grabbed my reward. I can afford my new weapon. Okay, it just got put in my secondary slot, but I can just flip it. There we go. It's a bit chunkier. Looks like the moveset's the same, of course. I may as well sell the katana. I don't really need to keep it. But we can also merge it into the other one. Can I do that out in the field is a better question, because the merge thing's there, but doesn't look like it lets me do that just on the go. Probably need to do that when we get back. I guess I'll hang on to it then to do that. Link stones, that's for making stun traps. We can just get rid of those. Probably not within the purview of what I'm gonna do today to worry about stun traps. So I'm assuming the stun traps are probably for the taming mechanic. I had to get rid of my marker, but the frames have left. I just need to get away from this place. This place is awful. It also keeps endlessly spawning these guys, which might be part of why the performance is tanking here, too. Let's just get away from here. Because we also only have so much time to prepare for the attack anyway. Heretic Summoner, there he is.
Some of those ships are attacking the docks. We have to stop them. Keep the pressure on Sorbo as well. He's weakening.
He's doing more than weakening. There we go. Summoner down. Huh. That seems like a problem. That's more than ships game. I was told there'd be ships. I was not told anything about a Kraken. That's hardly cricket. Now let's sink the ships and then we'll worry about the Kraken. Or not. Huh. Today I learned a Kraken has just a weird multi-missile launcher on it and just eviscerates you. Understood. So what that tells me is we avoid the raider ship mission because that seems problematic. We went from what, like third of our health to dead pretty much immediately there? That was a little much. We got to keep our weapon though. That was what I was worried about. We did lose the katana, it looks like, because our secondary slot's empty. We did keep our health potions as well, so really, I am ambivalent toward what happened at the end of it. Let's just get back out there. Oh no, the katana's still there. Merge extra weapons with your current one to increase its powers. I would just... Unless maybe the secondary slot is what's merging it? Maybe it's just it being there makes the weapon better? I don't know. Instructions unclear. Pants are on head. Do not know what do. Let's just get back out there and try again. I will say today's stream is probably going to be a bit on the shorter end because this is all I have planned for today, and if it's going to continue getting a bit rough frame-wise. We probably are going to wrap up before too awful long. And I am still honestly kind of tired after yesterday. The archipelago did take a fair bit out of me. We are not doing raider ships again. No, we will do the Citadel instead. So we shipwrecked and arrived, getting rid of the thunderstorm. Sagaga is here again, that's fine. Yeah, let's see how the shipwreck entry looks.
Collect some resources and escape, get what you need and find your exit path. The quest will keep. You can leave whenever you like. Advertise brought the god machines to Azurkeen, but this time we have the element of surprise. We'll need to find the shield towers and overload them before we take on the Citadel. They should be marked on your map.
See if we can actually pull this one off. We have potions, just like we did before. I just didn't use them because I didn't expect to die quite that quickly. But I may have also been, like, below the focus level I needed to be to do that solo. Hard to say sometimes. But you can definitely see how much the focus level matters, because we have a better weapon, but it took us more hits to kill that level 3. There's definitely a bit of a balancing act there. Determining how quickly you can go and do a thing will definitely be a factor for this. I do kind of wish I had more active abilities to use, though. But like we already determined, that's going to involve getting more levels. So based on the pool that there was for them at all, this game could definitely do with just having more of them in general. The wrong button. But at the same time, there are like those magic rings and such, so they may end up being what they expect you to be using to have more options in combat. And we just haven't made any of them yet. Ooh, there's a box. What's in the box? Just healing. Okay. That'd be great if I was in worse shape right now. You know what the stuttering might actually be because, and this is gonna be kind of stupid, but it might be true. Let's actually turn our view distance up a step. Because it might be as all the foliage is popping in might be what's killing the frame rate, actually. Because occasionally, lowering your view distance can actually have the opposite effect on your performance, for those who don't know. Because it constantly makes you load in more things, which makes it more unstable rather than better, necessarily. Basically, it's changing the timing of when the amount of requirement kicks in. It's not completely what I'm saying, but more or less that's the accurate point. The point being is it's not a universal lower things make things better or scenario with optimizing. So it's kind of always a ongoing thing. And if I had thought this through a bit more, I would have spent some extra time optimizing this before stream start. But it behaved well enough when I tested it, so I'm like, I don't need to optimize that hard. Hindsight being 2020, though, I should have done an actual mission instead of just trusting in the tutorial to have had enough of what the lay of the land was going to look like. I do think this will end up being very good once it hits 1.0. As it stands, I can definitely see this ending up being a little bit samey. And I would definitely recommend playing this with others, more so than playing it alone. As you can see, though, 100% functional alone, though. Don't mind the way that rock is. It's fine. We're just gonna ignore that. Like, the general texturing and such is pretty decent. Like, these rocks actually do look pretty good. They're a little bit more detailed than just being round rock. The ground's not ideal, but that's probably because of how low I have things set. More so than it necessarily just looking like this. Oh, we got like some tree turtle things over here, it looks like.
Use your amulet on the console at the base of the tower.
Okay. Well, one problem at a time, though. You know, I probably should fight these with the dragon. Ow. Shinan behemoths. There we go, broke the crystal. Now I can deal with these at my leisure. Looks like they can't fight the dragon, so I made the right choice. Because these look like they would be really rough to fight on the ground because of how big they are. So judging from the fact that the other one's just kind of hanging out, I think I didn't need to fight this. So I think I just started a fight that I didn't need to start. Which, you know, nothing new about that, really. I think it might be, like, life draining me a bit or something, because I see its health bar going up a little bit, and my health bar's gone down a little bit occasionally. And I see all that green coming off of it. So we might also be getting shot by the tower still. Oh, I landed. Nope, I don't want to land. The earth is not my friend. Get back in the air, you fool. Oh, no, there's flyers. That's why. Get out of here with that. Okay, let's loot the body right quick. Yeah, that laser was eating us alive because I wasn't paying enough attention to where the laser was coming from. Oh, we got more enemies in the air, though. Those were the things you were fighting in the tutorial, those little darts. That was your flight tutorial, basically, was fighting them. Let's go ahead and get this tower taken care of. Preferably before more flying enemies show up.
Threat detected. Commencing defense protocols.
What?
Stay near the tower to maintain the
Oh.
overload.
Well, that's a problem. Well, a problem for them more than me, really. Just based on how fighting those New Dawn foot soldiers went before, that's just gonna mean free stuff for me and death for them. We are a lower level than when we were cleaning them out last time. I could be cheeky and just get on my dragon again, but let's play fair for the moment, shall we? We have healing potions. And it'll be far easier to loot the bodies while we're down here with them. There we go. Now we're a high enough level that we can just rip through them a bit better. Because being under their level really does seem to make staggering them significantly more difficult. Which makes sense. We want the focus level to matter, so... Obviously, you don't want people just powering through things just by better gear, necessarily. Though I'm sure better gear helps, because the better sword is definitely helping a little bit. Though we did only go up by like 6 power with the new sword. There goes the tower. And we mostly equalized in health. You good there, bud? Here, let me help you. There you go. I mean, it did drop more health. Give. My work here is done. Farewell! This has great potential to be an incredibly satisfying game. It really does need the performance touched up, though, 100%. Considering about the only other thing I could do to help it out more on my end is to change the resolution.
Use your amulet on the console.
And that would only be so helpful. Why am I constantly falling? I wasn't allowed to keep flying for some reason. That was weird. Ah. There we go. Focus state level 7. I wonder if maybe the gobbler I shot like lowered me out of the air or something, so I couldn't escape it. Be weird, but not impossible. I don't think the tower did it because we had already dealt with one of these before. Activate the tower.
Threat detected. Commencing defense protocols.
Here comes all the
Stay
enemies
near the
again.
tower to maintain the overload.
Ooh, that was a messy one. Hee. I'll be honest, I don't even know what engine this is running on. I didn't look. I should have, because that would give me more insight into how to fix this. Just for myself, but again, it's early access. I'm sure it'll get sorted out over time. And as I mentioned, it really isn't performing that badly. It may very well be that I just lost the little bit of overhead that I needed for this to be running better by turning the stream on. So bear that in mind when you're forming your opinions there as well. Blocking, by the way, is very powerful in this game, but you do have a limited amount of stamina, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. I didn't really address that too well before, so I may as well get that thought out of the way now while I'm thinking about it, because I'm going to need it for dealing with the ogre. Oh no, that's not an ogre, that's an overlord. That's a yikes. Joke's on you, though. I kept you busy long enough that the tower blew up anyway. Yeah, he takes up all of my stamina when I block him. As one would expect out of a big man like that. We came out of that with more health than we went in, though. And lots of goodies. This has been a very profitable mission so far because of the way it spawns enemies. We did pick up another card. We got Old Wounds. I don't know if I want that. That doesn't sound like a good thing. But you know what? We'll hang on to it for now, I guess. We've only got one more tower to go before we can go attack the Citadel. We might actually be able to get a mission completed here. Where is our optional target? I don't actually see our optional target marked on the map anywhere. Huh. Well, there's our last tower right ahead of us, so I guess let's bop the last tower and then we might go look for Sagahagaga. Agahi gagagagi gagagaga. Way. Oh yeah, the last tower's just right there. Can I snipe it from here? Oh, it's shooting me, so I should be able to. Yep, there we go.
Use your amulet on the console at the base of the tower.
Yeah, because a fully charged shot is actually really strong. It just takes, as you might imagine, a good amount of time to charge. I'm gonna assume they're gonna send more things like Ogre Lords and such after me again, since this is the third tower.
Stay near the tower to maintain the overload.
Bring it on. Anybody? Hello? Oh, I just realized that the beams on the sides are slowly turning blue. That's how that is timed. Okay. Neat. Did they give up? They might have given up. They might just be tired of my nonsense and just don't want to fight me anymore. Like, you know what? No, just let them have it. We'll just pool all our resources at the Citadel and deal with them there. Huh. So, how's everybody's day? Because we seem to be doing a lot of nothing here suddenly. You know, it's great for my frame rate, though. Not spawning piles of enemies constantly. Awful for my experience and money gaining, though, I gotta say. This is gonna really cut into my profits. It's really a shame. Almost done. Nice little details on, like, the scale work on the side panels there.
Find the Citadel and blast your way in.
Okay, no prizes. Did end up accidentally putting that marker there. How's our money situation? We have 9,000 gold. Let's hit up one of the fig shops before we go do our thing. Which, I can't... Oh, middle mouse also places it. That's why. So I should use WASD to... Huh. So only some of the directional keys move the map. That's a thing. Fun. So, for those wondering which buttons work on the map and which ones don't, left does not work. Right does work. Up works, down does not work. It's very strange. Oh, and the fig shop that was over here's disappeared. What is going on with this game? Yeah, there's just some slight jank occurring. Okay, let's go shopping and see if we find our optional enemy. Is it related to the big orb here? Hello? See, I kind of figured this might be something important based on the fact that it was a big fancy circle on the ground and there were enemies around it. Well, this might be relevant to a different thing. I don't know. It seems like the map is consistently the same, but what's in the map changes. Maybe it'll be over here in the fort. Oopsie. Landed it. We're good. Fall damage isn't a thing. I think maybe since I entered the limits of the fort, maybe that's what knocked me out of the dragon form, or I may have just drained too much energy. Ooh, this looks neat. We have a bunch of these. What's this? Oh, maximum mana for 30 seconds. That is useless to me because I do not use my mana, really. Yeah, design-wise, these guys are similar to the Saga Haga thing we're looking for. And naming convention, they're similar, so they might be related. They might not. At the very least, there's a lot of treasure here in the fort, it seems. At the very least, we can kind of nose around in here since we're not on a time limit for this mission. sort of in. There's more of those feathers that I threw away earlier. Lots of stone, which is gonna be helpful. But actually, is that iron or is that stone? Looks more like it was metal than it was stone, based on the resource listing. More of the magic guys here. Based on the way the enemies are getting more advanced, I feel like I'm going in a good direction, but I also, based on the lay of the land, think I'm not going in a good direction. I'm not going really toward the center of the place. The center is more like this way. So I would presume if there's anything important, it's gonna be, like, up in here somewhere. That seems to be where the majority of the walls are blocking. So logic would denote the most protected area would be where the most important things are. Oh, is that just the charm that I could make just straight up sitting there? Oh yeah. It's just a ghost pepper. It just has a very similar icon to the other thing. That's still useful though. Because that's something I can actually quick cycle to use. And I will always be down for extra damage dealing. Especially if we do find our optional target. I do think that our objective listing did say where Saga Agog was, but I forgot to read it the second time. So I do not remember. For all I know, they might be in one of the dungeons, but I'm just kind of banking on them being up there because that looked kind of like what was in the picture. Ooh, a bunch of wood. There's just a sword? Okay. I'm suddenly very interested in that. Goodbye, mana shot. Low sword. I mean, it is just a night blade, so that doesn't help us. Not immediately anyway, but if I do play this more and pick up other classes, that will be useful in the future. It's also money, so it's useful and then more immediate to us as well. Yep, there they are up there. I was right. Like, it wasn't that big a guess to make if you think about it. It's like, oh hey, there's an optional target and there's a really big fort and it's the only big fortified area on the map that isn't a dungeon. Gee, I wonder where the boss could be. And then, you know, you add the theming in comparison I mentioned and it all just kind of comes together. Now, the fun question is, am I going to be strong enough for this? I wouldn't be surprised if the optional fight is stronger than the required fight. Is, you know, optional. But the way we're just trouncing his minions so far is a good sign. Oh, there's just another night sword just kind of hanging out. Bunch of burrowed New Dawn enemies, okay. You volunteer to distribute, understood. I think we will have enough hide for a backpack. Speaking of, goodbye pouches, hello sword. You would think these would stack, as they are... Oh, there we go, there's the merge option. So yeah, we'll just do that then. Once the game stops freaking out about me having done that. It's giving us a very minor buff, but it's giving us a buff. If I put that... Yeah, I can merge it now, okay. Looks like it's gonna take a lot, though, because I assume that merges it up into higher rarity qualities, basically. So uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, something like that. We did gain 3 points of extra damage, though. Oh, give or take, so not too bad. More importantly to me, though, more inventory space. That guy's in the floor. He can stay there. Sup. Okay, that did a good amount of damage, so we might be okay here. Okay, that's your main move, I guess. Or at least the first move you used. You can roar and knock me down. Oh, your bite hurts. Okay. Just tank bites to the face more than I have to, then. You know, in some ways, this actually reminds me a bunch of those free action MMOs that were out for a while. If you know, you know. Like, slight jank and all. Okay, I'm just getting comboed now. He's just being way more aggressive. Whee! That worked. Just popped him right in the chin with it. Oh, the frames are being so much worse now, though, and that's what's making this more of a problem. Okay, that has AoE to it. Understood. Okay, I can hit you while you're flying. I didn't realize. What is that I just picked up? Oh, it's a primal token, a boon that contains experience and gold. Neat. And apparently Zerker seeds don't stack past 7, so that's fine. Get rid of that. Grab the card. We already have the Songline Gate. Well, I'll have another copy of the card, I guess? I don't know if copies matter. Uh-oh. I'm actually gonna have to use the unstuck because I can't actually get back out from here and I can't transform. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, it puts you back at your spawn. Huh. Well, that's a solid unstuck option, I suppose. Not quite what I was expecting, but you know, that's okay. We have lots of gold. Let's go to the Fig Hut, spend the gold, and go from there. Go finish this mission. Oi. And yeah, clearly running the meter out doesn't knock you out of dragon form, because it would have done it there. I do have to be somewhat careful about my health now, though, because we don't have any more healing potions. But that's part of what I'm going shopping for, is gonna go get some more healing potions. That's the ground. Hi guys, bye guys, steal you later. Oh, there's different enemies in here. Dawn Geists. Okay, they have magic attacks, understood. And they make a very upsetting noise when they die. Also understood. Okay, looks like it was just money that time for the most part. Let's see. Anything I want to sell? Why do I have multiple warded patterns? Did I end up with so many that they didn't stack enough to? I hang on to that. It's interesting that the money on that is in red. Does he just, like, not have enough money to buy that or something? Yep, we do have an extra of those. Actually, no, don't drop that one. Drop the full stack, and what we'll do is we'll sell the single. Because without it in my inventory, I know which one is which. There we go. Because I don't know if it would sell the whole stack on me or not. With 14,000, I could afford the cutlass. And I think I can use that? I know we just upgraded our Odachi, but, you know, a better weapon. Let's see if we're allowed to use that. We sure are. So I guess merge that in? I would put it up to 38.8. I think I'm better off selling it, honestly. So I can buy some healing items. Since that was what I originally came here for, and then I got tempted by improving our equipment further. Oh, the potions increase in price every time you buy one. Yikes. I don't know which of these two cards is which. Oh yeah, do I just, like, use the boon token? How do I do this? I'm guessing I just need to bring it with me and then I get the reward. Since it doesn't seem to be, like, activatable. Well, I guess we'll just make do with 2 potions. Well, it's gonna be 1 in a second because I'm gonna use one of them immediately. Yeah, it does seem to be percentage based as far as how much it heals, so maybe I should try to finagle another one. Yeah, you know what? Let's sell the really expensive, one of the really expensive ores we're carrying. Because if we don't get out of this alive, the expensive ore is not going to matter anyway. Sell the Ignis Salt as well. Because we have a bunch of it. And then we can afford a 4th one. There we go. This way we are pretty safe on health as long as they don't ignore damage. Hi, guys. I have a new sword to kill you with. It's a nifty looking sword, too. These guys are level 9, though. That explains why they didn't just get decimated by it. Anyway, off to make progress. Goodbye! That, I presume, is the Citadel over there. Can't imagine what gives me that idea. I do find it interesting that they word it as transforming into the dragon, even though we're very clearly sitting on the dragon's back. Assuming these are enemies flying around it. Yeah, they've got their own riders. That was a music choice.
It's the only way we're getting in.
There we go, door's gone. Going in.
Use your amulet to overload those consoles.
Hi, boys. The flyers outside couldn't really do much about me, huh? Yeah, the guys in here are just level 2. They don't have a chance. Let's get this done. Magic. Yeah, I kind of figured there'd be waves that spawn from each of these. So it's looking like it's gonna be harder to exit the map than it'll be to do this, unless these waves get stronger. Because right now, they're just sending chumps. But we are quite high level for what we're doing here. Ow. Sir, I will deal with you in a second. I'm not done charging the crystal. It does seem like the Cutlass has a different moveset than the Odachi and the Cutlass and the Katana did, which makes sense. It's a different style of weapon. Because you notice we don't have the kick anymore. Nor do we have the fancy, like, flip move that we were doing a ton of damage with. These are still just level 2s. I may have bought more potions than I needed to. Unless there's actually like a boss to this or something, which I would assume there is. Oh, did I skip one? I skipped one like a silly bastard. Just charging up the thing to make this place explode. There we go. At least I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen, is we're overloading the thing. Because otherwise charging these cores seems rather silly. Boop, boop. Yep, Guardian defeated. I kind of figured. Let's get the clown show out of the way and then we'll deal with the Guardian. It's a tree? Let's heal before we touch this. Oh? Oh, it's just an elevator. Activated by a tree. Okay. You know what, I'm not gonna question that much. Sky Warden up there, he's just level 2.
Negative is corrupted. My being may be distorted, but that's not for me to decide.
Well, don't worry, you'll be discarded soon enough. Oh, you have friends, huh? Oh, that's a level 14 enforcer. Okay, that's different. And some geese. I can't actually see his level anymore, so I don't know if his level changed when we got up here. Oh, you know what? The Skywatcher that I saw through the wall probably was just one of the flyers. I may not have been seeing his name and everything since he's obviously, you know, Citadel Guard. Ooh, 10k though, that'll do. Now you can spin too, huh? Spinning is a fun trick. You know what else is a fun trick? Eating an attack booster. Ow. It takes a lot of stamina to block. I should probably just be rolling his attacks. You know, considering he's got big stompy sword and laser of death. Though I rolled the wrong way for the laser of death. So he keeps firing at a weird angle. I expect him to aim it at me, but he aims it like off to one side at first. Because he's doing sweeps with it, which I keep not assuming that he's doing. I would like to stand up, please. Game, please let me have control of my life at all here. Down you go. Citadel destroyed in 13 seconds, huh? That's a concern. Drop that. Drop that. These. Oh, there's more things I want. Being in this when it gets destroyed might be a really bad idea. You know what? Goodies. Oh, you fucking stupid thing. There we go. Got all the things. Whee! Okay, yeah, being in it when it blew up wasn't a problem. It just meant you had to get the loot before the time ran out on that. Get the big Citadel destroyed message out of my face, please, so I can shoot. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Now we just get out of here. Oh, why are you just circling? I expected him to be, like, turning towards me. I don't think they care about my existence, honestly. Alright, now we just gotta brawl for a bit and then we can leave. Well, assuming any enemies actually show up. Considering the demand that this is putting on my system based on the 100% I'm seeing on the tracker I've got up there on one core in particular, we're probably going to wrap up after this mission just so we don't overtax the system too much. I don't think it's an issue, but I'm hedging my bets on that. Because I also don't think there's going to be too much more to see here in terms of anything specific and new. And as you can see, the frame rate is currently dying again, and potentially taking me with it, so it does seem to be getting worse as far as the performance goes as we go. So pushing my luck further seems just a bad idea across the board, you know? Get out before the portal closes. There we go. Great success. 214 enemies defeated, only slightly more survivable time than our other successful escape. But this time we actually completed our objectives. And we got an anchor stone, because we actually completed the objectives this time. So we'll actually get to take a look at some of the other stuff, potentially, here. So we'll do all of that, like summon in another portion of the castle and figure out what all that means. We just won't go off on another actual job, is the point. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, that's bright. My eyes. Okay, so we did get empowered by that. We've unlocked grapple. Ooh. Use the grappling hook to grab onto the environment and some enemies. Hold the button to stay connected. When grappling enemies, you can attack them. Neat. I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on. Or am I? What do you want, buddy? Okay, yeah, it's happening. Let's see how jank this grapple is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, there is a cooldown to it, though. You just have a couple charges, it looks like, depending on how long you let it cool down for. Yeah, this is what I mean, though. There's still more potential to be reached in this game. It just needs some performance work. Work is the primary thing, I would say. This system I'm running is no slouch, but it's having a bit of a time occasionally here. Which is why we hadn't covered this till now. This was originally going to be in the set I had done of Lurkit stuff before. But I had assumed out of the games I had codes for that this was going to be the most likely to have issues because it is the most complicated and graphically intense one out of the batch. Which is why it ended up getting its own day. Because it was either going to be the last game of that day or on its own, and well, here we are with it being on its own. Okay, so that didn't open new buildings in there. That was one of the things I was curious about. We go to the mission menu for a moment. I presume we can see new things for us to get in the ability menu, possibly? No, we don't. We still don't have that unlocked, apparently. Okay. So I guess you need multiple levels of the castle in order to unlock that. Huh. Okay. We are level 8, but this is still closed to us, apparently. So that's a bit of an odd one. Also, I definitely used some of my potions, and I still have 3 potions, so that's interesting. Can I actually make anything as a final send-off? Like, there's no reason for me to make a weapon now, because we bought the cutlass, which is down here somewhere. Or presumably. Or, the cutlass might not be one I can make. Might be one that I can only buy. Oh no, there it is. The icon for it just doesn't look right because it's only the hilt. So it's a little weird. So yeah, we saved a fair bit of metal. We spent more gold, obviously, but gold is the easiest thing to get so far. And the Elba is the same level, more or less. Like, it requires level 4 to use the Elba, but it's the same attack. It just has 3 more crit and some more speed. And our next would be the Heretic, or the Darkblade, which we do have enough Darkblade cores for. We would just need a higher forge for that. And I don't think we can actually pull that off at the moment. We can make the small pack. I also could have made armor, but I'm more interested in that. Okay, it adds a full additional row, it looks like, of inventory, so that's not too bad. Because I think we only had 3 rows before, right? Am I lying to myself? I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And yeah, fire traps engulf enemies in fire. Do we even see stun traps? Stun snare to confuse enemies. So I don't even know if that's actually related to the taming thing that I was talking about. We could have, like I said, make the armor, but eh. We clearly don't need armor so far based on how we're surviving most things. Outside of that one magic nuke we got obliterated by. As you can see, there's a lot of castle left to get. Funnily enough, the only thing we got was the thing in the distance over there, not even like any part of the main building. Do I wanna build anything? No. Because it's only the supply depot or the lair. As you can see, they're lit up, which is nice. Take stock of our cash. We have lots of good stuff. Including 3 cards. I don't even know what the other card we picked up was from that fight that I'd scrambled to pick up. Actually, no, I can't be bothered. But I will go ahead and give y'all the link for the game. Because, as a reminder, this was a key that was provided to me. There's the link there if you're interested at all. And we will go find somewhere to be. I know this was a short stream, but like I said, I'm still pretty tired from yesterday, so I'm taking it a bit easy today. And, like I said, the technical part of things as well. Just to hedge bets. I do think that if this just wasn't attacking just one core really hard, this would probably actually be running very well. Because the overall CPU usage I'm seeing is only like at most 50%. but there's a single core being, like, very heavily drained. Which, like I mentioned before, is not very, it's not uncommon for that to be a thing. It just would be nice if that wasn't happening. And of course, upcoming schedule, Monday we go back to Final Fantasy, which I may spend some of the extra time I'm going to have today getting the grinding out of the way for that. Not that I'm planning on grinding too much, but if I'm going to do any grinding, that would be when to do it. Then Tuesday, it's back to Hollow Knight. I have no real prep I need to do for that, aside from reminding myself of where we were and where we're going. And then Thursday, I still need to contact people about, which is going to be part of what I'm going to do today, guaranteed, is contacting people about whether they want to do something on Thursday or not. Because Sunday is when a lot of people make their schedules, so I'd like to reach out before people make their schedules. Be a good idea, you know? And then Friday is the second of the small-scale archipelagos, so look forward to that if you enjoyed yesterday's nonsense. It'll be roughly at the same time as well, from the sound of things. And I do want to remind everybody, I'm going to be kind of incessant about reminding people about this to a certain degree at the end of streams. We are going to be having that birthday stream on the 3rd of February, because it's only a couple weeks away. I'm going to keep reminding people occasionally about that. There's going to be a lot going on with that one, so buckle up for that if you are at all interested in being there for that. I was really hoping to have made a decision before I ran out of the schedule chat there, but I did and I didn't, if that makes sense. Like, I have narrowed it down a bit, but I did not decide. Yeah, let me actually take a look at where some of these are at, and that'll help me make that final decision. Because if any of them are getting ready to end, I obviously don't want to raid into somebody that's getting ready to end. Because otherwise it just turns into a whole pass the hat around game. That's already a bit of a mess for you. No. You know what? No, that one ain't happening either. I do want to send a raid that way at some point, but what I'm seeing right there is telling me no, not right now. You know what? That might be fun, actually. We'll go there. Let's see if we can jump scare Argo while he's playing Callisto Protocol. So, thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. Sorry that this was a short one, but, you know, every now and then things have to be on the shorter side. That is what it is. On another note, Argo is another member of the Dragon Council that I have mentioned that I'm in repeatedly, so, you know, dragons support dragons. And of course, Argo's just good people. He's the same one that ran the last Dragon Pelago and will be running it again next month when we get back to that. That's a big part of why I'm running those small-scale archipelagos, is getting people ready for that. So, you know, keep that in mind. But be good to Argo, he's good people, and I'll see you all on Monday. Good night, everybody.